Welcome to the next episode of Your Charisma Coach. It is finally here. Today, joining me again, because he was so good last time, we've got back Ian Rowland, master cold reader and complete expert dude. That's the technical title?
Well, you said you were going to introduce this saying the last time you did an interview in, it was so rubbish, we thought we'd never have you back, we've agreed to give you one last chance.
It was all that money you paid me.
Yeah, I know. I came grovelling, begging back, saying, please, I know the last one was terrible, but please, can you just give me one more chance?
And I listened.
And here we are.
So, you've got a job interview coming up, and you probably want to get the job, because if you don't want to get the job, that means more job interviews, and job interviews are boring and rubbish if you don't get them. So, Ian, you've got loads of experience in the corporate sector, helping people improve their interview technique.
Well, the reason this came about is kind of interesting. I realised first of all, I have experience on both sides of the interview desk, because like everyone else, I've been for interviews to try and get jobs in my time. But then, strange and inexplicable as it may sound, I was for a while a manager. You know, I did rise to those dizzy heights, and I was the UK sales and marketing manager for a big technology company, and I ended up doing quite a few interviews to hire people.
Right.
And it's a really different perspective, very different, and it was very instructive. There are, and we counted, didn't we?
There are quite
10,000 squillion guides all over the internet.
They're rubbish.
Which tell people nothing at all. Well, either there's two kinds of guides to how to ace that interview that you can find online. One is they tell you stuff that works, but it's so amazingly obvious you'd have to have serious problems not to know it already. Turn up on time. Way to go.
Yeah.
Or it is more abstruse and sort of slightly weird information, but none of it works.
Be confident, stupid.
Yeah. So I was quite a little bit dismayed that there was so much bad information around and not much that was good. So I thought, yes, I will write this booklet. And I put some stuff in there that you won't find anywhere else. And it actually works. That's the slight difference. Slight difference
is actually good.
It actually works.
Yes.
And will make a difference the next time somebody's going for an interview. As I say, to either get a job or get a better job.
Can you share?
Well, one of them, there's a technique which I've shared with lots of people in different contexts, and it's called a Mindscript. Now, Mindscript is a very, very simple thing to use, but not enough people use it. A Mindscript consists of 3 very simple, short, declarative sentences. One about yourself, so one about me, one about you, being the person I'm going to meet, or the interviewer, and one about the situation. Me, you, that's it. So a very simple Mindscript, and you have to see it written in your head as kind of a 1, 2, 3 lines. For a job interview situation, would be something like, I'm a pretty good candidate, you're a nice interviewer, this is a great company to work for.
So,
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
Very short, simple, succinct. You never say it out loud, by the way. This is not something you say out loud.
Like, hey,
No.
I'm really good.
No. It's just something you use internally,
Right.
and you run it and you fire it through your mind. For example, 10 minutes before you go in, 5 minutes before you go in, 2 minutes go in. But then, even when the interview is actually in progress and you're actually having a conversation, dialogue, you'll find you can still run it through your mind. Like, say if it's a 20-minute interview, you might use it a couple of times. And everybody thinks, but wouldn't that crash your mental gears? You're having a conversation. It doesn't. This is the interesting thing. You can run that thing through your mind, and because it's very short and simple and sweet, it won't crash your mental gears. And here's why it works. I don't need to tell you that a very high percentage, a large percentage of our communication is non-verbal. Okay, so it's not just what you say, but also how you say it, facial expressions, use of gestures, body language, all the rest of it, all the non-verbal communication.
I'm nodding my head here.
Yeah. If you consciously try to synchronize all of that, to make sure that it's all congruent, all coherent, that my words, my tone, my gestures, facial expression, body language are all conveying the same message, you won't be able to do it. Nobody. It's like the cat. It's like the the centipede trying to consciously think about how to manipulate its own legs. By firing a mind script through your head, it synchronizes all of these things. It focuses you, and it makes sure that you're on message and coherent. If you want to get into the psychology of it, you can say it achieves a good gestalt, a completeness, a wholeness. And it makes sure that everything then is congruent. So what you're saying, how you say it, your use of gestures, eye contact, body language, everything suddenly coheres, and you're focused and you're on target. And it's the only way I know of to do it. Just run a little mind script. As I say, you can devise a mind script for almost any situation, but we're talking about job interviews today, and it really is good.
So it's like putting a guidance system in a missile.
Yeah, it keeps you focused, it keeps you on target, it reminds you why you're there, and it just it also knocks out other things like fidgeting goes. Nerves just go. Your mind script, and you can fire it through your mind anytime you want. As I say, you don't say it out loud, don't do that. Even in a conversation, and it won't ruin anything.
So before I use my own mind script for this interview, can I just ask you, just for a refresher, the three parts were?
Very simple, short sentences. One about myself, one about the other person, one about the situation. Bam, bam, bam. That's a mind script.
Thank you for impressing the importance of statements. Statements. Now, I'll see you on the next episode of Your Charisma Coach. Ian, speak to you shortly.
A pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was like the best example I probably could have done because I didn't speak Spanish or any of the other languages. My Japanese is not bad though. So it's really good to throw yourself into conversation. That put me into new territory. I hadn't had a conversation like that for a long time.